There's more good news. I'm excited to share the most recent information on how diet can help us live well with RMS. There's even more new data showing that what we eat matters. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. We need to eat like we give a damn. In today's video, I'm going to talk about a few recently published papers, share some information and tips on what foods may help us to manage our symptoms, possibly prevent progression and disability, and share an infographic that you can use as a reminder to help you to consume these beneficial foods on a regular basis. Hello, my dear friends, and welcome. I'm glad you're here. I've been making these videos for a few years now, and I continue to see mounting evidence that when we eat a healthy, mostly plant-based diet, we do better. The data consistently shows that people who eat a predominantly plant-based diet manage their symptoms better and possibly prevent progression and disability. There are two papers from the Multiple Sclerosis and Related Disorders Journal that were published in April. In the first, they reviewed observational studies about the associations between diet and disease progression and symptomatology in multiple sclerosis. They looked at 32 studies, and 12 of them were prospective studies. In prospective studies, people are followed over time and information is collected. In retrospective studies, they collect information from people's pasts. Retrospective studies rely on memory, and there's more of a chance of error or bias than prospective studies. Even though more studies are needed, they did find that, based on prospective studies, this review suggests that diet might be associated with quality of life and disability. There are also potential effects of higher diet quality scores on improved fatigue, disability, depression, anxiety, and MRI outcomes. Which diets were the most helpful for people with MS? This paper says a dietary pattern rich in vegetables, fruit, legumes, whole grain cereals, fish, and fiber showed the most potential. How cool is that? Another paper became available in early April in the same journal on diet, omega-3, and vitamin D supplements. This was another prospective study where they followed 839 people with MS over a 5-year period. They concluded that high-quality diet, non-consumption of meat and dairy, and omega-3 and vitamin D supplement use are predictors of 5-year fatigue and disability trajectories. Dietary modifications appear to contribute to better long-term health outcomes in people with MS, thus should be discussed and recommended in MS care management. Again, how cool is that? What does high-quality diet consist of? They reported diets with a high intake of fruits, vegetables, and low intake of processed foods and saturated fats are associated with better health outcomes in people with MS. The third study came out in mid-March. In it, they looked at the Mediterranean diet of people in northwestern Italy and the severity of MS. In this study, they looked at 31 people with MS in northwestern Italy and tested if eating a more Mediterranean diet would help. They used the MSSS, MS Severity Score, and assessed their diets using 3 methods: the Mediterranean Diet Adherence Screener, the Pyramid-Based Mediterranean Diet Score Index, and the Italian Mediterranean Index. The Mediterranean diet has a high intake of vegetables, fruits, minimally refined cereals, beans, nuts, and seeds. It also has olive oil as the principal source of fat, moderate dairy products, and low red meat consumption. Some of the findings were adherence to Mediterranean diet positively correlates with fiber and protein intake and is negatively correlated with saturated fat intake. And adherence to Mediterranean diet is associated to milder disease severity. They concluded with, the key findings indicate that a higher adherence to the Mediterranean diet and higher intake of fiber is associated with lower MSSS, lower MS severity score. What we eat matters. Everything we put into our mouths has the ability to help us or harm us. In looking at these 3 papers, we see a trend. More fruits, more vegetables, more fiber, less processed foods, less saturated fats. When I was diagnosed in 2017, I was pretty sure I was eating a healthy diet. In 2006, I had my first discernible MS symptoms. I had a relapse that resulted in drop foot. I didn't get diagnosed at that time, but it did get my attention. I started changing my diet to be more vegetarian and more whole foods. I was highly motivated to be as healthy as I could be. Looking back, I'm proud of the changes I made, but I was still eating a lot of processed foods and a lot of dairy, and making some not so good choices with junk food. If you'd like to see more on my diagnosis story, I'll put a link above and in the description below to that video so you can watch it after this one. After my diagnosis in 2017, I decided to get more educated on diet. I sought the advice of a health coach, started reading more studies, and went on to get a certificate in plant-based nutrition. I've learned a lot about how plants can help us be healthy. Let's take a look at some of the foods that can help support our health and how they do it. Part of how they help us is with phytochemicals and phytonutrients. These phytonutrients can help protect us and reduce inflammation. To get the best benefits of these phytonutrients, we should strive to eat a large diversity of plants. Think of it as eating the rainbow. Eating all the colors will help us to get all the nutrients. There are even some foods with little color that can help us too. I'll share those at the end. Here are some of the benefits of each color. Red foods like strawberries, red peppers, watermelon, and tomatoes have lots of lycopene. Lycopene is a powerful antioxidant. It can help reduce the damage done by free radicals. Free radicals are atoms that cause damage and inflammation. And don't forget the skins. Some fruits and veggies that are pale on the inside have very colorful skins that have excellent nutrients too, like apples and eggplants. Next is orange and yellow. Carrots, sweet potatoes, oranges, lemons, and squash are rich in carotenoids. Carotenoids are also antioxidants and are helpful with protecting our cells and reducing inflammation. They can enhance our immune system, and our bodies change some carotenoids into vitamin A, which helps keep our immune system healthy and well. Green is our next color. Foods like spinach, kale, broccoli, and all leafy vegetables are high in flavanols. Flavanols have anti-cancer, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and antiviral properties. They also have neuroprotective and cardioprotective effects. There are some studies showing that they may inhibit neuropathy and help with the recovery of injured nerve cells. Blue and purple foods like grapes, blueberries, blackberries, purple cabbage, and plums are rich in anthocyanins. Anthocyanins may help lower blood pressure, reduce the risk of heart disease, slow cancer growth, and prevent neurological diseases. They have been shown to improve memory and speech with people with dementia and increase blood flow in areas of the brain that control memory, language, and attention. Eating a variety of fruits and vegetables whenever we can will improve our overall health. There are also benefits to less colorful foods like onions and shallots, leeks, and garlic. These all contain anti-inflammatory compounds that can help us too. These foods are part of the allium genus of plants. They contain high levels of an antioxidant called quercetin. Quercetin may lower blood pressure, inhibit tumor growth, and reduce bacteria growth. These vegetables also add amazing flavor to our dishes. If we add all the colors of the rainbow to our diets by eating a variety of fruits and vegetables, we will help our bodies to get a good diversity of anti-inflammatory nutrients and fiber that may help us to reduce our symptoms and possibly reduce the severity of our MS. I've created a free infographic that you can download and print out to remind you to eat the rainbow, and it includes some of the helpful phytonutrients of these beneficial foods. See the link below to get your free download. I have also linked all the studies and articles and papers that I referenced today if you'd like to check them out. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's video and learned something new. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, and share the video too if you know of someone who may benefit from it. To see more on how diet can help us to manage our symptoms and possibly prevent progression, watch these videos next. Until next time, be well.